Hey YouTube, sorry about my appearance. I'm actually in the middle of getting ready for work. But I wanted to come on here and make a quick update. So, excuse me, I am 17 weeks and 6 days. For those of you that don't know, I had a stillborn daughter at 16 and 5 last year. So this is the farthest I've ever been. Excuse me while Anyway, so things are going great so far. I have bi-weekly ultrasounds and cervical length measurements. I actually have a maternal fetal medicine anatomy scan on the 9th of September. So I will find out what I'm having then. We've tried to find out before then, but my baby's pretty stubborn and likes to dance around in my belly with its legs Indian style. So it's kind of hard to see anything when they have their feet down there by their bottom. So anyway, I started my progesterone suppositories, my vaginal suppositories, at 16 weeks on the dot, and I will do those, every day through the end of my 36th week. So that's what I'm doing. My OB, which is not the OB I had when I was pregnant with my daughter. And I was referred to this OB by a friend. Her sister had actually given birth to stillborn twins due to relatively the same thing I have, incompetent cervix, and she also had placenta previa, or previa, I think is how you pronounce it. But this doctor was extremely, she was extremely emotional and connected to her patient, and I just found that sincere and something that I wanted in an OB. Someone who would listen to me and any concerns that I might have, be willing to investigate them and even just ease my mind if they didn't think anything was wrong. But this OB has never dealt with anyone that had already been diagnosed with incompetent cervix. She had diagnosed people with incompetent cervix, but she had never actually had a patient proactively trying to prevent PPROM and early dilation and things like that. So that's where we're at with that. My doctor is lovely. I absolutely love her. She does have me on pelvic rest, which I'm okay with. I mean, in all honesty, TMI, but ever since I had my cerclage put in, intercourse is a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know if that's due to the fact of something trying to irritate my cervix now and it can't move, and that's why it's painful. But either way, my husband and I are doing fine with that. Anything for this child. We're pretty excited. So we're trying to stay, as optimistic as possible. So we're having our anatomy scan, and we're having a gender reveal party. My sister-in-law is throwing it for me. I didn't do this, I never had planned to do this with my daughter. Mind you, I didn't find out what she was until after she was born, because she was born August 6th, and my anatomy scan was August 20th. So she was born 2 weeks too early for my anatomy scan. So I didn't ever plan to do that. I was just going to find out what it was and let that be that. But my husband and I are going to enjoy this pregnancy for however long we may have it. If it gives us a child in the end that we get to enjoy and raise and teach all the things in life that we want to teach it, and one day become grandparents and great-grandparents, that would be great. But if it doesn't, I'm going to enjoy this child however long God blesses me with it. It's been really interesting because with my daughter, my water had prematurely ruptured, so I didn't ever, I felt her move maybe 3 times before she was born. Because she had little fluid to move around in. This little booger moves constantly. And now I do have an anterior placenta, which means it's going to take me a little while to feel the baby move on the outside. Unfortunate for my husband, but luckily for me, I already feel it. And it's great. I feel it probably 10 to 15 times a day. This morning when I got off work, we have a fetal Doppler at home and I was listening to it. It's hard to find the heartbeat sometimes because of my anterior placenta, but I can hear the baby moving. And it was really neat because you could hear it. It sounded like it was like in the ocean, just swimming around in the fluid in there. It was great. Excuse me. So that's where we're at with that. I'm going to do my bi-weekly ultrasounds until 24 weeks. And then after that, my doctor doesn't feel that it's necessary to continue doing them. We'll just start doing digital checks to make sure that my cervix isn't getting soft. She doesn't want me to worry too much about numbers. This whole time my cervix has stayed well over 3.5 centimeters so far. I did have a couple Braxton Hicks around 15 weeks, but I think I let myself get dehydrated, so I just had to sit down, drink plenty of fluids, and after about an hour they went away. So that was good. That made me kind of nervous, but that's much better. You have to excuse the mess. Another thing that's going on in my life is my husband and I are trying to buy a house. And that's really exciting. It's stressful. If any of you have bought in a house, you understand it's some pretty stressful stuff. But we're hoping, that God will bless us with this child and bless us with this home, and we can start our lives. So needless to say, I'm staying optimistic. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm starting to have some hip pain. Not too awful bad, just when I'm sleeping. I was larger before I got pregnant. So now that I'm getting bigger, it's hard for my body to get used to. So I think that's why my hips hurt. And I work 12-hour shifts. I'm on my feet a lot. So I think that's probably part of it. A lot of weight. I just started wearing belly support bands, so hopefully that will help some. So I hope you guys don't mind that I was doing my makeup the whole time that I did this video. I just have been so busy trying to prepare for the gender reveal, doctor's appointments, house appointments, work. I'm trying to work as much overtime as I can right now to be able to afford the move, which we should be doing, hopefully, if everything goes through, the end of September, beginning of October. And mind you, I won't be doing any heavy lifting. My husband will do that. My doctor put me on a strict 20-pound weight restriction, so and I'm listening to that. So I'm going to, I guess, stand up and show you guys my belly. Excuse me, I'm just in like basketball shorts and a tank top because I'm gonna put my scrubs on in a minute. I'm gonna actually probably have to kind of get on this chair. Well, if I can stand further back. I'm gonna get on the chair. So this is my belly from the side and from the front and from the other side. Yep. We're calling it jelly bean for now. Well, guys, I hope hope you enjoyed this update. And if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comment section. I'll try to start making videos more on the regular, maybe after we move. But I appreciate you watching, and thanks.